Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on College Application and Exploration Month Best Practices. Just want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining us today on this Friday morning. As we start the month of September, happy College Application Month to everybody in the state of Tennessee. And as we start thinking about fun and meaningful ways that we get to have students engaged with exploring their options and applying to college. So as many of you know, September is not just for our seniors. College App Month is not just for our seniors, but that exploration part of the College Application and Exploration Month really extends all the activities and ways to explore careers and colleges to our younger grades as well. So we know that a lot of our schools across the state do some really creative things during College App Month. And today we're lucky to hear from two guest speakers who are going to share some of their great ideas and best practices from their own work with students. So I just want to introduce our speakers here. First, we have Dr. Angela Marshall, and she is the Director of Strategic Initiatives at the Ayers Foundation Trust. She works with schools and communities across the state of Tennessee to build strong college-going cultures as part of the Ayers Foundation Trust, and she'll be sharing some of those strategic ideas that have worked well in her experience, both in the K-12 side of things as a teacher, also on more of an administrative level. So very excited to hear from Dr. Marshall. We're also joined by Michaela Davis, who is a Niswonger Care Advisor at West Green and North Green. And Michaela works directly with students every day. So she gets to help them explore their next steps after high school, and she also has some really great ideas to share. I also have a PowerPoint presentation by Amanda Villani, who she is the Director of Post-Secondary Counseling at Memphis Rise Academy Charter School. So Amanda is not with us today because she just started her maternity leave, so congratulations to Amanda. But I will go ahead. Her slides are super explanatory, and we won't present them today, but we will go ahead and archive them with the archived webinar so you all can access their slides. So if you are familiar with Memphis Rise Academy, they received the award of School of Excellence this past year from the American College Application Campaign, which is a huge award. One school gets it every year, and so we know that Amanda has lots of good ideas to share with everybody. There's definitely a reason for a school to get an accolade like that. So I am very excited for all of you here to hear from both of our guest speakers today. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Marshall to get started with her presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all. I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation. Hopefully you can see that. Can I get a thumbs up? Does that work?
Yes,
okay,
we can see it.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Really excited to talk about College App Month, and I may call it College App Week because you all know that was kind of the focus for a while, so y'all forgive me if I get my terminology wrong. I really wanted to start with before the kids are probably even in the building, where to start in terms of that game plan. A lot of times we sit down with our administrative team, school counselors, the college access folks in the building, and we try to think about what we've done before that worked. What got kids really excited, engaged in this process? What activities did we have that they seemed to enjoy? If school has started, then maybe talking to your student council. Maybe they've got a meeting you can attend and just say, hey guys, what have we done before that you really liked? Because the students will tell us, right? So getting them involved in that conversation and being included in the planning process, I think is always a really good start to any like well done event. Get our goals are always, how do we get the school staff involved? So everyone from your office staff to your teachers, the ladies and the folks in the cafeteria, just anybody that we can get involved in this. We want everybody in that school to be opening their minds to this college going culture, because that's really what this month and helps to create in our schools. So, how do we get our school staff involved? How do we get the underclassmen involved? Just like Sarah said, this is not just about seniors. A lot of the focus is geared towards seniors, but it's starting that conversation as early as possible. So, we're always looking for what could the freshman class do, the sophomores? How can we get them on a college website looking for something? And then, of course, how to get the seniors in the office and doing the applications and taking these first steps in the college going process. We always say to just start as soon as possible. If you look through your list of free applications and kind of work backwards from there, sometimes that's a really good method to kind of plan out your month and how things are going to go and who you can get involved throughout the month. Like I said, the goal for all of this is really participation of as many people as possible, and then excitement about that college going process. Um, some ideas for underclassmen: there's maybe a daily trivia, and every school system's different. Maybe you have over the intercom announcements every morning where that could be shared. Maybe it's something that the teachers do within the classrooms. Having an idea of how your system or your school runs, and then how to leverage that to help really build that messaging. Um, if there is, kids like a prize, even if it's a piece of candy, even if it's a sticker, they like a prize. So seems silly for a 16-year-old to want a smiley face sticker, but start handing them out to a couple of kids and you'll see that they're very popular. So maybe it's you come to the office with your correct trivia answer and we're going to give you a sticker. So I know a lot of places we don't have a big budget for these events, but it's also about what you can use that you kind of have. A lot of times during college fair, our colleges are going to give us notepads and pens and little cups and things like that. We like to keep those to kind of use during this as a way to reward um, participation in the week. You can also talk to your school system about having college t-shirt days or a hat day, anything like that, that again gets those underclassmen involved in the conversation. And then, of course, really the meat of it is our seniors. We always say we want 100% of our seniors to participate by applying to a college during College App Month. And we start to push that from the first day of school. We're gonna work on Tennessee Promise, and then in September we're gonna do college apps. We just start that right out of the gate so they know what to expect. And as you all know, a lot of seniors are off campus. They maybe have dual enrollment classes, they're doing work-based learning. They may not be in the building all day long, but if they know to expect this is going to happen and then they can come back in and you can help them with applications, that's really good for them. We often do drawings. So if you have 20 students applying a day, you may not be able to give 20 prizes. But if you can give one prize at the end of the day, whether that's a college t-shirt or anything that you have in the office, they're going to be excited to be a part of that. And I always say that College App Week is like social media gold, and we'll talk about that more. But if you can get a picture of that student that won the t-shirt, and then you know, some schools have the TVs in the hallways where it's scrolling announcements and things like that. If you can put those students' pictures up and just again increase that excitement, because that's what this month and this event is all about. There's also hallway recognition. Again, it's like the stickers. It seems a little silly, but if you start posting the names of all the kids that have done applications on the wall outside of your office, whether that's on a paw print because that's your school mascot, or if you do a whole theme of the game of life, and you've got little cars with their names on it, whatever it is. If you see kids will start to come in and say, "You haven't put my name on a car yet." Well, you haven't done your application. Come on in here and let's get that done. So the more you can get traffic into your offices and them wanting help from you, we see that as a win. So that's really the direction we're trying to go with those hallway recognitions. Um, a lot of it is about being seen. So we talk about using that communal space. Can you get kids in the library? Is there time that you could use the cafeteria to have several students doing the applications at once? Is there a large lobby area that might be able to be utilized during certain parts of the school day? The conversations between students when they can ask each other, "What were y'all doing in there?" or "What was that about?" That increases that interest, and that's really important as well. We also encourage our staff, and when I was a college access counselor, I would always invite the admissions reps to come in, through this time because they know their application better than anybody. And if we were ever running into any kind of glitches or things that weren't working, they knew how to get around it. So, um, this is not just on your own. There are a lot of people across the state that this month is really important to them and they want to get as many applications as well. So make sure that you're inviting and talking to those people. The communication of what we're doing and why we're doing it is really important. So again, those daily announcements, using whatever messaging apps your school system uses, getting information out not just to the students but also the parents. Students may not be as concerned about the $50 application fee. Their parents might, though. So um, let's get them involved with saying, September 17th, that's an important day. Make sure you get that done, whatever it is. Those social media blasts, again, they work wonders. I always talk about, and you all probably know this, like parents are on Facebook, students are on Instagram. Um, so if you're not really familiar with those social media platforms, someone in your school system is and uses it. So again, use your team. It's not all on you. Use your team to help figure out your best path forward with some of those. And again, the more you can get the kids' pictures on there and mom and dad can share it and everybody can like it, that's always just makes everybody happy. You definitely want to make sure through all of this that you're keeping your administration and your faculty in the loop. So if you're inviting an admissions counselor in, they're only going to be there for 2 hours that day, and you're going to end up with a lot of students wanting to be out of class, or just make sure that everybody in your building is aware of what's going on. And then, and really as soon as possible, because you don't want there to be like a huge English test that they're going to miss. So just be able to create that communication internally so you can um, use the time wisely. But sharing your schedule, your plans, the list of visitors that are going to be in the building, if you're going to have lots of admissions counselors on a certain day, you just want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. And then, don't be shy. Get out there. If you're in those communal spaces and kids are walking by looking, tell them like, "Oh yeah, look at all these kids. We're doing college applications," especially for those underclassmen, just increasing that excitement early. That's really a lot of what we kind of not just focus on, but encourage, because we're building these college going cultures. And this month and the way that all the schools in the state have been able to partner together for free applications has been really helpful in the goals that we're trying to accomplish. That is all of the information that I had. Thank y'all so much.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a lot of good information. I will also say, as a former admissions rep, that's how I started in higher education. Those college application days those were always something that I really looked forward to. And so I would just echo that, reach out to a couple of admission reps, maybe even from schools that your students wouldn't normally apply to, or just to kind of expand some of their options. And there's always bonus points if you can set that up near like a college fair, so they might already be in town and all that fun stuff. So that's really, really great information. I think those tips are super helpful. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Michaela. And yeah, if anybody, I didn't see any questions in the chat yet, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in there. Oh, Michaela, you're muted. So sorry.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm
You're good.
Michaela. I'm gonna work on getting my presentation pulled up real quick. And let's see. Okay, I think we should be set now.
Yeah, you can see it.
So I am a Nosmore Care advisor, and I have a little bit here just to tell you about Nosmore Care and what we do. We are working in the high schools every day with seniors mostly to help them do things like the Tennessee Promise requirements, FAFSA, and college applications and stuff like that. Our goal is to help make a strong college going and career ready culture inside of schools and to assist students and their families with being successful in their post secondary plans. Here's a little bit about me. My name is Michaela. I actually received the Nosmar Scholarship when I graduated high school. Some of you may know about what that is. It's not around anymore, but it allowed me to go to ETSU completely free with no debt. I went to school for English and secondary education, and I loved education and decided to work as a Nosmar Care advisor. And I also grew up in a low income household myself in a rural community. So it feels really great for me to be able to help students like me know that being successful after high school, whatever path they choose, is possible. Okay, so here is what we're going to talk about today. Tennessee College Application Exploration Month, best practices from Nosmore Care. And the goals for this campaign is to encourage seniors to complete applications, expose students to different college and career pathways, build partnerships with local colleges and community organizations, foster a college-going culture within the school, and ensure equity, which meaning all students participate and not just the college-bound students. To start us off, before we get into all the details, I did get some videos from some students, a teacher, and a counselor about College Application Exploration Month. So we'll watch those really quick. I asked this student, how does College Application Exploration Month make the college going process easier or less stressful for you?
Hey, Michaela, the sound isn't working again. Could you try to do the share audio again?
Yes, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
see.
good. I thought we had it. We practiced this ahead of time, y'all.
We did. Let's see. Share audio. Huh.
Okay, yeah. Suzette said maybe stop sharing and then try.
Okay. Share. Include sound.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Let's try it again. Um,
Okay.
Knowing that going home I don't have anyone to help me with these things and having people at my school who are willing to help me and like better my education makes it so much less stressful for the fact that I'm not alone doing it. I have people who are helping me push myself and just go to different heights.
Okay, and then we asked another student, what is one college or career path that they're excited to explore during this month?
One thing I'm excited to explore is the physical therapy programs, especially like the schools around me, like ETSU and Carson Newman. They offer physical therapy programs, and that's something that I'm excited for.
Okay, and then we asked a teacher, what would you say to a student who doesn't think that college is for them?
Just validate the reason why they think that it's not. Explore more options. Trade school could be an option for them if they're not, if traditional college isn't for them. So I think that they just need to keep an open mind and explore different options.
Okay. And last one, we asked the counselor, what is important or why is it important for every senior to participate in this month, even if they're unsure about college?
It is important for students to participate in this because even if a student is not planning on going to college, it's always good to get those applications in just in case, especially while they are free and no cost to that student. So we encourage every student to apply where they would like to go if the application is free for that week and just as a just in case for them.
Okay, so now we're going to get into more of the details about planning for these events during the month of September. We have it broken down into 4 parts. So we have initial planning, 1 to 2 weeks prior, the week/day of event, and after the event. So there's a lot of information on these next couple of slides. Some of these things may apply to you and be useful. Some of them you may not need to do. Just this is more of an exhaustive guide of everything that could be helpful. So in the initial planning phase, it's important to figure out who your planning committee is. So who all is going to be involved in figuring out this event. So that usually involves counselors. Sometimes you might involve teachers and administrators. You're going to want to meet with that committee and set up your timeline for, what events you're going to want to do and when, activities, stuff like that. Assigning tasks. So who is going to be involved in different things that you're doing. And then also I like to send follow-up like emails after just to clarify everything that we talked about and so they can reference it later on. Specifically for your free college application event, you might want to make an agenda for that and just outline all the details that are going to be helpful to know and to share that with your staff and administrators in the school. Assigning roles when there's a lot of kids coming in and out, it can be helpful to know exactly who is doing what. So, is someone going to be greeting like students that come in, and then someone else is actually helping with the applications? Is someone going to be in charge of taking photos? Stuff like that is helpful to figure out ahead of time. Select the date that you're going to do your events on and make sure that you have the location reserved. So I usually use the library at my schools and I try to tell the librarian ahead of time just so she doesn't plan anything else on that day. Ensure that you have enough not enough internet. Ensure that you have a good internet connection and enough computers for students as well. And then also inviting college reps and partners as early as you can is really helpful because in September, especially, their schedule tends to fill up pretty fast. So just making sure that you ask them ahead of time. Again, in the initial planning, you will also want to go ahead and inform staff and the admin of, what event you are doing and how students are going to be participating. Develop a marketing strategy. So how are you going to get the information about this event out? Are you going to use flyers, social media? Are you going to have them say it over the announcements? Are you going to text your students on your messaging platform? Stuff like that. Making sure that you print off a quick guide for seniors ahead of time. So those are the things that show like what schools are free during what dates and if they need a certain code. I also usually print off one that has the links too because sometimes students don't know exactly where to go to find those applications. Um, if you want, it can be helpful to review the college websites and applications and just be familiar with it so that when students ask questions, you are able to answer those for them. Plan to track participation so you can use a paper sign-in sheet or even like a Google form and have them fill that out, just so you can keep up with who came and what applications they submitted. And it's also really helpful to look at all the resources on College for TN because they have a ton of helpful stuff on there as well. Okay, now into the 1 to 2 weeks prior section of planning. So again, you're going to want to just confirm that you have your space reserved and that you have everything you'll need, like tables, equipment if you're going to present, stuff like that. Projector and presentation equipment, make sure you test it ahead of time to make sure it's working fine. Keep promoting through whatever means you have decided to do that. Make sure you confirm with your college reps that they're coming, and also make sure you share logistics about things they might need to know, like parking, will they need to bring their ID, stuff like that. Send parents reminders about the event. This can be really helpful because parents are sometimes the best people to, get through to students and motivate them to get involved. Um, Also, at this time, you want to provide the staff with some I went to college door signs, so that might spark some conversations with students when they want to ask about, like, did you like the school that you went to? What did you major in? Stuff like that. Encouraging staff to wear college shirts on a scheduled day, again, can help spark those conversations. And also giving students bingo cards is an idea. And that is just where they have different tasks on a bingo card, such as asking a teacher where they went to school. And once they mark so many off, then giving them some kind of prize for that. Okay, on the week or day of event, you're going to want to make sure that you arrive early and are able to go ahead and get set up and make sure that you share the details in the morning announcements so students know what's going on. Um, Make sure that your space is inviting and that students are going to be excited to come in and do those applications. Provide those seniors with the quick guides and other app resources that they might need, like the URLs. Greet and welcome the college reps and students. Explain the process of what they're going to be doing and how to ask for help if they need it. Tracking that participation through sign-in sheets. Using a login organizer can be helpful if you want to help students like record their usernames and passwords. If you work with students, they are pretty bad at keeping up with that stuff, so I do recommend doing that. Take photos and videos to document the event impact and celebrate students by giving like college swag, stickers, or other prizes or recognition for completing those applications. And then finally, after the event, it's important to make sure that you send thank you messages to your reps and staff and whoever helped you with the event. Let them know that you appreciate that. If your school is a Path to College school, make sure that you complete that survey, letting them know all the details of it, how your event went, and post highlights on social media, school newsletters, announcements, just making sure to celebrate all the students that came and applied. Meet with your committee to reflect on what worked well and what can be improved for next year. And also, I think it's important to follow up with seniors and encourage them to continue on the process of getting to that school. So, tracking if they're accepted or not, submitting the transcripts needed, and doing the extra steps that they need to, maybe for like financial aid and stuff like that. Okay, so that's that's the planning guide that we have. And then we're just going to talk about a few more details. So one thing I wanted to mention was there's differences in how these events are going to look at small versus large schools. I personally serve small schools, so I understand that maybe some of that is not feasible or necessary for small schools. So here are just a few of the differences. You might not need as many college reps to attend or volunteers. Um, your space that you can use for the event tends to be a little more flexible because you won't have as many students. And on the other hand, with large schools, it's important that you reserve ahead of time and make sure that you have a large space ready to support all those students. And of course, needing extra college reps and volunteers as well. Okay, and here's a few helpful tips that I think can help you when you're planning your event. So one thing I mentioned already, the login organizers for them to have their usernames and passwords for each of the college applications that they finish can be helpful. Making sure to make an inviting atmosphere. So you could play some upbeat music, have some college banners out. Make sure you greet students when they come in with a smile and give them clear instructions so they know what to do. One thing with tracking participation that I'm doing differently this year, so I mentioned sign-in sheets. This year, I'm going to actually try to do a Google form as like an exit ticket. So just having like a QR code, having them scan it, and then on the form, it'll ask their name and what applications they actually finished. And then also, was there any schools that you wanted to apply to that you didn't get the time to? So that way, one, we know what applications actually finish and we know where to send their transcripts. And two, we can follow up with them if there's more that they wanted to get done and we can help them with that. Um, Providing incentives if possible. There's going to be some ideas about that in the next slide, but this really encourages and motivates students to participate. If your college reps are going to be there all day, make sure you plan to give them a lunch break. Also important to figure out how you're going to actually get students to the event. So are you going to just say over the intercom, like calling students in to your space, or are you going to send an email out to teachers? Are you going to text your students? Stuff like that. This year, again, something really important is to plan for the UTK students specifically. So some of you may know that UTK is actually only free for one day this year. So what I've been doing is I sent out a survey asking who or what schools kids were interested in. And the ones that said UTK, I actually started meeting with them ahead of time and getting them started on the application and letting them know to be ready to submit it on that day. So, because it is a pretty long application process. And then lastly, deciding how many days you're going to have the event. So some might do every day of a week for students, some might do at night something for parents and stuff like that. So making sure to figure that out ahead of time. Okay, here's a few incentive ideas. Again, this is going to be different depending on what school you're at. Um, a really popular one that kids love is gift cards. If you can maybe get like just a couple $5 gift cards to like Dunkin' or, you know, Chick-fil-A, stuff like that, and then do a drawing, that can be really motivating to students. College swag, school gear, doing raffles for each application they finish. Food incentives, if you just provide some snacks, pizza, donuts, stuff like that, that's going to encourage kids to come by. And recognition and celebration. So if you want to make like a photo wall, do social media shout outs, always use the I applied stickers, and kids really love those. um, Social media engagement. So if your kids and your staff are pretty involved on your school social media, you could do like hashtag challenges or giveaways for students who post about applying or wear college gear. And then lastly, if you can get your teachers or your administrators involved, handing out homework passes for kids who finish an application or early dismissal tokens can also be really motivating for kids. So here's just a few examples of some resources that I use. So these are flyers that I made last year and this year to send out to kids to let them know where to come, what all they'll need to complete free applications. Here's those quick guide examples. This one is from Advice Hand, so you should be able to find that on their website. And this is one that National Care made. This is one that I use that has the URL in it as well, so kids know where to find the application. This is what my sign-in sheet for last year looked like. And here's the login organizer that I talked about. And then lastly, here's some pictures from my prior events. As you can see, they're all holding up their I applied stickers. And yeah, and that's all I had. Did anyone have any questions for me? I don't see any. And if not, here is some contact information if you need it from for National Care. That is my contact info as well as my director and associate director. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Michaela. So before we leave today, and there's still a couple of minutes we have left here for some questions if anybody has any questions, but I did want to walk you all through a couple of resources that we have for College App Month on collegefortn.org and show you where those free application links are. That's kind of the hot commodity this time of year. So I just want to make sure everybody knows where to find it and how to distribute it best for your students. So I'm going to share my screen quickly, and we're going to start here on the home page of College for TN. So when you start at the home page, the way that you'll find the resources for College Application Month is to go to the School Resources tab here, and then you'll just mouse over. There's the Path to College designation, which you all heard Michaela talk about being a Path to College school. If you're not already, you just use that link that I sent in the chat, or you can click here to register your school for Path to College events. All it is you sign up your school and you receive a mailing, a kit in the mail with tons of different tools and resources to be able to put on some of our different events throughout the year. Like Michaela mentioned, those stickers, there's also posters, there's all sorts of fun things that we have for our students. You'll get a sample copy of one of our next guides, so some cool things there. But these are the 4 events. So if your school registers for Path to College and then completes all 4 of the events, and completes the corresponding survey. So that's the important part, is letting us know after the fact, basically how your event went. Your school is named a Path to College school. So we usually start each year with TN College Application and Exploration Month. So you can just click there, or a more direct way is to go to that School Resources tab and just directly click TN College Application and Exploration Month. It will take you to the same place. And we have an overview. So because we do have an entire month of college application and exploration, which Dr. Marshall did allude to, it used to be a week, but now it's a month because there's just too much to cover to just have it in 1 week. So anyway, now the actual apply week is that September 15th through 19th, but we do have a couple of activities and focus areas on the 2 weeks before and the week following. And then whenever College Application Exploration Month ends, we will load the survey here, and you'll be able to complete that survey and get credit for that event. And think of it like a little punch card. Once you get your 4 punches for your 4 events, your school is named a Path to College school. This is the super important part. So under event resources, you will see that we have 3 toolkits here. You have probably heard of these. You probably maybe already used them. You might have gotten an email from me about them. So the first one that we have is the College Application Fee Waiver Toolkit. We've had several updates. You can see that this sheet is very long. We have more colleges than ever this year who are involved with our College Application Fee Waiver Toolkit. So this is not necessarily a comprehensive list of every college in the state that is offering a fee waiver. These are just the colleges that registered with the Tennessee Higher Education Commission and let us know that they want to be involved and they want to advertise their application to high school students across the state. So that's where where these come from. If there's a code, you can find a link to those. You can find the code information on this sheet. And then you can also go directly to the school's application. So I'm going to click on Tennessee Tech here because I'm a Golden Eagle. I graduated from Tennessee Tech. So you'll see, oh, actually, maybe this is the printable version. But you can go straight to those applications from the toolkit. So that's a pretty cool option there. And then just a different, oh, well, here's the printable version. This is what I was talking about. So this one is separated by page. So I got quite a bit of feedback from a lot of our school staff letting us know that they wanted a printable version to be able to share out with their students. So this one has several pages, again, because we've had so many colleges want to be involved with this year. I personally would recommend using a digital version just because all of the college applications are digital. And it's the best way to access it. But if you feel strongly about printing, you can do that. Just know that we are continuing to have colleges added. So if you were to print this today, by next week, there might be another college or two added. So it might not be the most up-to-date version. So that's why I would usually recommend sticking with the virtual edition. And then last but not least, we have a new addition this year, which is a video playlist toolkit. So this is actually formatted almost like a slideshow, but you can use it lots of different ways. And it has think of it like a slide for each college in the toolkit. And you can click directly in these slides to their applications and be taken to those external application links. And then also that application fee waiver information is on each school's slide, if you will. So that is where you can find most up-to-date information for all of our fee waivers. Again, I would really, really, really recommend that you all use this landing page to access those toolkits instead of disseminating the toolkits individually, just because we will always have the most up-to-date version of those toolkits linked here on this exact spot on the website. Another thing I wanted to highlight quickly is that Y Apply Day is coming up on September 19th. If you have not participated in Y Apply Day before with your school, I really encourage you to get involved this year. It's something that we do at our office at THEC, and it always really kind of brings us back to our mission and why we're here and how we get to support our students. So basically, there is a Y Apply template that you can print off. It looks like this. You can print it off, and then people get to write in this big white space either why they applied to college. So if you have any of your school staff who want to write a message to students about why they applied to college, or you can also have students write in why they want to apply to college. So you'll see lots of different people have lots of different reasons why either they did apply to college or why they plan to apply to college. And then you post those, blast them on social media using the hashtags #WhyApply and #TNCollegeAppMonth. We always love seeing what people post there, and it's a cool way to get people involved in College App Month. Another resource for you, and both of our guest speakers mentioned social media, so I will just highlight this. We have a College Application Month social media toolkit. So what this is it's actually formatted pretty similarly to that video toolkit, but it has sample graphics that you can download and you can use on your social media, as well as sample captions for posts. So here's an example. You just click this download graphic here, and if you go on that, let's see, I think it's it's the second slide. You can download all the graphics at once here on this third page. But if you scroll down, you can see each individual post has its own basically slide in this toolkit with a sample caption for your social media. So what we wanted to do is make this as low lift as possible for our school staff. So we have taken that legwork out of posting on social media, there we go, all my prepositions, and tried to go ahead and give everybody things that they can post on their social media, photos, and both the graphics and then also the copy, so that you don't have to come up with all those things on your own. So feel free to use as many of these as you'd like, blast them on your social media. We would really encourage that, and we would love to see those. And then last but not least, we have our list of resources by grade grouping. So starting with high school, we have several different college at-month resources here. Some of them are printable PDFs, some of them are links to external resources. So I would encourage you to check these out if you're working with the high school. Similarly, we have middle school and elementary school resources if you're focusing more on that college exploration versus the applications this year. So some really great resources here. Again, I would really encourage you all to go into the College Application Exploration Month homepage, click on everything you can click on. And also, if you have things that you have created that you think would benefit other school staff across the state, we would love to feature them here on these resources. Most of these items came from college access professionals, school counselors who put together these things on their own. And I know that there are a ton of you all who are really creative and have that free educator Canva account, and you're making some cool stuff in Canva. So if you ever want to share anything out, you're welcome to send it over to us. You can send it to me, and we would love to be able to feature it as well. So okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And awesome. So Risa Brown just sent a message. She asked, do you know when we should expect to get our box of supplies if we're already registered? Great question. So the priority registration cutoff was September 1st. So we will go ahead and start mailing those out. I would expect that you'll definitely get them before the end of the month. So just keep an eye out. It's kind of hard to tell just because, as you can imagine, different parts of the month will get supplies at different times. But yes, we will be getting those out as quickly as we possibly can to make sure that you have plenty of time to use those supplies, not only with your college application and exploration month activities, but also FAFSA Frenzy College Planning Night and Signing Day in the spring. So excellent question there. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions, so we will go ahead and wrap up for the day. Just wanted to say a big thank you again to Dr. Marshall and to Michaela for all of your help and for sharing such good ideas. I think that this is some really great stuff, and I really appreciated the guidance and walking us through some of those things. So we will go ahead and wrap it today. I hope everybody has a fabulous Friday, and we'll see you on the next webinar for TN. Thanks, everyone. Bye.